Okay, another video. Oh, there's two of them. Okay. So another video here. This was the first video I was thinking about making for tonight. This one's gonna be probably the longest one. But so this guy was on panel, and he said it was a pro-life live. It said abortion is wrong. You know, Christianity I'm Christian, ask questions. And this is this very stupid point. He said, okay, how can it's hypocritical for Christians, right? How can you be against abortion and pay taxes, right, for somebody who like supports a war? Now, this is really dumb for a few reasons. One, and he even admitted he was an American, so he knows. So one, if you work and you make a certain amount of money, you pay income tax, and depending on what state depending what state or what city you're in, you also pay income tax. So income tax goes out of your income. That's involuntary. Nobody likes income tax. Of all the taxes that we pay, income tax is literally the worst. And there's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do about it is just not work. But if you don't work, you don't pay the bills. Unless you, like, live off-grid, right? So that's problem number one. Taxes are involuntary, right? You have no choice, really. Not to mention that if you don't pay taxes, right, the government is just going to come for your wages. They're going to get you one way or another. Right? You don't have a choice when it comes to that. So, that's one problem. Number two, again, I'm not an expert in politics, but when it comes to Trump, right, because it's always a right-wing thing, when Trump was, like, advocating, was running for office, right, I think one of his important, like, points that he was trying to say, right, is that, hey, if you vote for me, like, I'm gonna end the war in Gaza, I'm gonna end the Russian-Ukrainian war. You know, he could say hyperbole. Like, the first thing he said, oh, if I'm in office, the war's gonna end as soon as I get in office, right? Hyperbole, but that's what he was running for. And that's what people wanted. So when people believe that, like, people do believe, oh, if he's in power, he's going to actually end those wars, right? At least in theory, when he said that, right? Right. Number three, so what? The left doesn't believe in wars? That's obviously ridiculous. Again, I'm not really going to say much. But if you know more... So wait, Democrats don't believe in war? Is that what you're trying to imply? Oh my gosh. Well, that's ridiculous. Like, the left doesn't believe in war. That's kind of really silly. Number 4. Point 4, right? War isn't inherently wrong. He even admitted to it that there's some cases where war is justified. I gave him an example. Do you think it was okay for us to storm Normandy?
Search and destroy.
And, you know, do you think it's okay for the Third Reich to be overthrown?
The enemy off the objective.
Do you think, should we just, like, do nothing and, like, let the Nazis do their evil actions? Do you think that was okay? Do you think war in all cases is wrong? No. No one believes war in every single case is wrong unless you're a pacifist. I'm no longer a pacifist. I used to think war is always bad, but there's no option. It's not something that we celebrate, but it's something that is just a unfortunate thing of human nature, right? War is going to happen. I think it's really idealistic to say war is never going to happen. It is going to happen. This is human nature, unfortunately. This is reality. It shouldn't, but it is. Just because you pay taxes doesn't mean you support those people. Because everybody in America pays taxes, unless you're 2 years old, or you don't work. Right? You pay taxes. Like what? You pay property taxes too, right? All of these things. That's stupid. Including people on the left. People on the left pay taxes too.
141.
So this is a
Charge on the
ridiculous
target
point.
and level it.
Now he's saying, well, you shouldn't vote for politicians like that. As I just told you, the reason why people voted was not because, in the examples I gave you, they thought Trump would actually end those wars, as I just stated, right? So no, that's not a reason why, right? I was gonna say maybe if you voted for Trump's economic policies, despite the fact that knowing he would start wars, that's a different story. Like if you knew he would do wars, that's a different story. But most people did not believe he would do that, right? Again, not a politician, but did Trump actually advocate to start wars? I think the only war he advocated for was the war on the cartels, which I think is absolutely justified. I think he designated with an executive order, not an expert, but that the cartels were like a terrorist organization. I think that's absolutely justified. The cartels indirectly kill thousands of Americans every year through the drugs they sell. Not to mention that they kill people in their own countries. They make an example. Do you know how vicious the cartels are in those countries?
Search and destroy.
Yeah, they kill people to make examples. They kill people because they think that they're rival cartel members, right? So, if we eradicate these scum of the earth, right, we're doing, not only are we doing our country a favor, we're doing their country a favor. So, when people say these things, like, that's one reason why people could have voted for him. They could have voted for immigration. They could have voted to destroy the cartels. Why is it wrong to go to war with cartels who kill thousands of people every year? Wait, why is that wrong? Again, those people in those countries should be better off without the cartels. They're not complaining. You think people in El Salvador, right? When Nayib Bukele got office and he destroyed basically the MS-13 in El Salvador, you think they're complaining? No, they don't want to deal with those people either. So clearly not in all cases is wrong. I think it's absolutely justified to eradicate those disgusting cartel members. But that's a story, that's definitely a story for another day, right? Probably the most important part is I'm going to get to the tu quoque fallacy in another video. I'm going to save that, right? But this is basically just an appeal to hypocrisy, and it's a red herring. I don't understand why people do this. And notice how he said he was against abortion, right? But I don't think he was, because this type of rhetoric is very common. This is a very common pro-choice tactic. It's basically, well, what aboutism, basically, right? And Serendipity calls Saul that. Basically, his point was stupid, and he's like, okay, I'm against abortion, so I don't have to defend my position, right? Let me ask this for you, right? Because he asked the host a question. He didn't give an argument for abortion because he apparently is against abortion, right? But how does America starting wars in other countries justify abortion? Right? This is literally an example of a red herring, okay? Just because somebody does something bad over there, hundreds of miles away, does not mean it's okay for you to do something bad. Like, okay. Like, you think in court that's gonna stand? Do you think that's actually gonna get you anywhere? Oh, you can't throw me in jail for killing that person. Oh, that guy kills 35 people. You can't put me in jail. No, that's a stupid point. You sound stupid. Because that's the thing. It doesn't follow that because people pay taxes, they support wars.
Enemy movement in the AO.
It doesn't follow at all. And more importantly, right? is just because even if this was hypocritical, that doesn't mean abortion is justified. Even if it was true, you're trying to come to the conclusion that it's okay for abortions to be allowed because people support wars in other countries. That doesn't follow at all. I don't know why people use it. There's no way he was pro-life. He was pro-choice. This is a very, 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 very common pro-choice rhetoric. You are pro-life. You're pro-choice when you use that type of rhetoric. I know you're pro-choice. You're just saying you're pro-life so you don't have to justify to come up with an argument, right?
This area has been looted.
I know you're pro-choice because that's something that a pro-choicer would say. But that's the end of this video.